Hey, everybody. Welcome to Cantina Cocktail Hour. It's great to be back Friday night. We're going to do it. We're going to do it again. We have cocktails, we have toys, we have all kinds of fun conversation. And this week I have a guest who hasn't been on the show with me before. This is the very first time. Very excited to finally be doing something with the one and only Toy Bro. Toy Bro, how's it going this evening?
It's going well. How are you?
Doing pretty good. Pretty good. Thank you. So, yeah, thanks for coming on to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Excited. Haven't done a live stream with
Absolutely.
anybody in a while.
Right on. Well, I really enjoy live streams. It's a good opportunity to talk to people that you've been chatting with online for years, and
Sure.
so it's super cool to have
Absolutely.
you. And I see you're in that's your new setup, right? Your new toy digs.
This is my office. So this is where I film and work. So the toy area still is not even close to set up. So we're in here for
Nice.
now.
Right on. But it looks like you got a good space that you're setting up, huh? Plenty of detox, plenty of
Yeah, I've
shelves.
got 10 right now.
Wow,
So they're like in the
that is
middle of the
cool.
room. And then one day I'll get the shelves lined up whenever I figure out how I actually want to plan it. So I
Yeah,
have the
that is
space,
super
but it's just
cool.
not there yet.
Right on. You'll get there. You'll get there. I wish I had room for 10 detox. I totally wish that I did. I don't know. I do not. But maybe one day. I think we all dream of that day that we move into like this huge house and has like a giant basement or has like a huge third story floor that's just all dedicated to action figures and toys, huh?
Right. Yeah. So a half of our basement is dedicated to toys, or well,
Nice.
really most of the entire basement is right now, but it's supposed to be half. So uh, we'll get it sorted eventually.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing the video tour if you're into doing those or some
Yeah, I
pics.
never I never did one at the old house. People always asked me, and I was like, it was just I never got it where I wanted it to be. Like it was like I was never ready to show how it was set up because I was always taking stuff down and using it for videos. I'm like, it's never in a like presentable uh, arrangement. Really, it was always kind of a mess. So that's why it never happened before.
Right.
So I'm hoping once I get it all set up, I can do it that one time, and then
Mhm.
there you go. You've got your video. Watch that one. Don't ask again.
Nice. Yeah, I hear you there. It is so hard for me to get organized too. Like, I have a toy room, right? It doubles as my home office. And can I ever just bring somebody in here and give them a tour? Not really, because I still have toys off to the side. I have stuff that's not even on the shelf. And yeah, it's the first world problems of a toy collector.
Right. 100%. There's always more
Right
toys and they always
on.
take up more space, and then you have to figure out what to do with them, and then you have to rearrange everything else. So it's a
Yes,
constant thing.
it is. And I've noticed for me too that as soon as I finish like rearranging a shelf, then I have to start all over with another shelf. And then it's just a never ending thing.
It's like a domino effect. You touch one, you have to touch them all.
Yeah, for sure. Well, cool. So it's great to have you. And, Cantina Cocktail Hour, are you sipping on anything of the alcoholic variety this evening?
No, not tonight. It was a long day with not much sleep last night, so this is just water.
Water, right on. Well, I'm being a little misbehaving here somewhat. I have a blue sangria that I'm drinking.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's pretty good. Well, cheers. All right, so let's see who is in the house. So I see Mario is with us. Hey, Mario, how is it going? Good to see you. Thanks for coming by. Dodgson93 is here with us. How am I? Doing good. How are you, Dodgson? We have Better Ray Bob hanging out. Hello, Better Ray Bob. Happy Friday. Right back at ya. Straight out of Coruscant. Can't believe I'm still awake in the UK. Oh, gosh. What time is it in the UK straight out of Coruscant? It's got to be like,
It's got to be
shoot,
late,
like,
like 4 or 5.
yeah, like 4 or 5. But hey, we're not complaining. Thanks for hanging out with us. Paul, good to see you as well. Thanks for joining once again. Mary, great to have you as always. Toy Bro, awesome. Yeah, for sure. He is awesome. And Disorganized toy room isn't a bad thing. Could be a sign you're still playing around with your toys. Who is not playing around with their toys? If you're not playing with your toys, there might be something wrong with you.
Right. What's the point of having them?
Exactly. What is the point of having them? Well, cool. So, do you just want me to call you Toy Bro, or what's the best way
You
to
can call
refer
me
to you?
Jared. That's fine.
Okay, we'll go with Jared. I'm just thinking,
Yeah,
like, I
that's
call you
fine.
Toy Bro. It's like, all right. So, Jared, what's been going on the channel lately?
This week it's all Thundercats Super 7 stuff. So that's the big focus right now. Because I got the newest wave of Thundercats in. So I've been hammering those right now. First one went up today and working on the rest all throughout the weekend.
Cool. Yeah, I've been seeing the notifications, and I've been seeing them on Twitter. You're looks like you're having a good time with those, so that's cool.
Yeah, I mean this stuff is like some of my favorite when it comes to anything really. So whenever I get them, it's just kind of nonstop. They don't leave my side pretty much until I'm done reviewing them. So I mean they're all right here right now. So yeah, I mean it's like my if there's one thing these Thundercats in particular, that's my dream line. So
Nice.
To finally start getting them is a big thing, at least as far as my collection goes.
Right on. I know close to nothing to Thundercats, like close to nothing. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or not, but I feel like I just
It's not a
missed
bad thing.
Thundercats by just like a year or two or something. But yeah. Yeah, Thundercats, He-Man. I kind of missed that just by a little bit, I feel like. But it's still cool. The action figures look awesome. If somebody gifted them to me, I would totally put them on the shelf because they look incredible.
Right. Yeah, they're great. I'm really enjoying them. So that's the thing right now for me is to crank out some reviews all weekend long.
Nice. Well, we'll be looking forward to seeing them. Anything else been made its way into your collection as of late?
I mean, yeah. It's always a lot of stuff.
All the time,
I've
right?
been
Yeah.
getting into the 3016 scale Power Rangers. So I've been those have been kind of trickling in lately. I got one and said I wasn't going to get any more. I would just get the Green Ranger. I could be done. It can be on its own. And now I have 4 more. So, and then I haven't opened it yet, but I got this in the mail.
Okay.
The latest NECA Toon set.
Haven't even seen that
caught
one.
up on those. I think that's all the new stuff.
Right on. Yeah, my husband like teases me, like, hey, watch out! I'm getting a box. I'm at work. Keep an eye when it gets home. Bring it in for me. It's like, what else is new? When don't you get a box? So,
right.
Yeah, kind of true. So, yeah, there's always stuff coming in. Me personally, I'm trying to think. Haven't really gone too much in as of late. It's been a little slow for me. I think the last things that I've got. I know you just got this. You got the Hasbro sent you that Bring Home the Bounty box as well, right?
Oh yeah, the big box. Yeah.
The big box. It's huge. Like I was like, I promise. I told my husband, I promise I didn't buy this. Like this. I didn't order this. This just came. Like this is just a box of stuff. He's like, well, where are you gonna put it? I don't know. I didn't ask for it though. So.
Yeah, the box is currently sitting in our dining room right now because I don't know what to do with it. I feel bad like throwing it away because
it's a nice box.
It's a nice box, which sounds so stupid to say that, but it's a nice box. But it's also like 3 feet long. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? So I can store it with the barge box, maybe, but I don't know if it's going to have much longevity in this house. Right now, it's basically a table for other stuff. Like I've got other toys stacked on it right now.
Those boxes are good for storage. Once you get everything out and you want to put more toys in there, like that's what I use them for usually. So they double as storage.
Yeah, I can try to sell it that way.
Yeah, of course.
I'll put
other stuff in it. Other than that, I'm trying to think if I've added anything lately. I think I have a box from Big Bad Toy Store that came in yesterday. I don't even remember what's in it, to be honest. It was just a pile of loot that was sitting for like 3 months, and I just like, okay, I need to ship this. I think there's some Nanmu dinosaurs in there. I think there's a couple of collector grade vintage collection figures in there. I think there are There's a couple other things in there. I really need to go through the box and see what's in there. But yeah, that's going to be a good time. It's always a good time opening boxes when you don't remember what's in them because it's a surprise.
Yeah, especially if you don't know what's in there, then it's just like a big surprise. That's always great.
Yeah, well, it's like a present. Yeah, other than that, I haven't really added too much new. It's kind of been slow on the Black Series side. It's been a little slow on the even the vintage collection side. I think the last wave was gosh, a month ago or so.
I'm catching up on vintage collection right now. I guess I didn't order a case, so they've all sort of been like straggling in. I got a Queel in yesterday that was beat to hell from Amazon.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
It was in a box that was in perfect shape though, so it went in all banged up.
Yeah, I've had that experience too,
which is pretty normal. So I wasn't surprised.
Normal.
I wasn't excited about it, but I wasn't surprised. I'm opening him anyway, but still, it's the principle of the matter.
Yeah, and yeah, that's true. At least you have him. At least you have the figure. You can totally.
Yeah, because I haven't seen vintage collection figure in a store in a while, so I'm getting them as I can right now.
Same. I think the last ones I saw were the Emperor wave, and that was like October.
Well, I see a bunch of Landos, but everybody sees Lando, so
yeah. Everybody sees
Orlando,
in both scales.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, Black Series and vintage collection Landos right next to each other as the only Star Wars toys on the shelf right now. So.
Yeah, it doesn't send a great message about Lando, but we love Lando. Those figures are awesome.
I thought they were fine. I don't know why no one else wanted them, but they seem fine to me.
They seem fine. Maybe a little overpacked in the vintage collections case anyway. Yeah, 3 per case. A little excessive, a little heavy, but still a great figure. If anybody's not buying Lando, well, don't make that mistake. Buy Lando. Buy Lando. You need Lando. He's awesome.
You can't not have him.
Right. No Star Wars action figure collection is complete without Lando Calrissian. There's no smoother, double crossing, good for nothing pirate, smuggler, businessman. You need Lando. You need Lando. Yeah, and other than that, let's see. I'm trying to think what else. Gosh, there hasn't been any Ghostbusters lately. There hasn't been any. Like Mighty, like for Power Rangers, Lightning, I do collect like just the Mighty Morphin stuff. I ignore everything else, but only Mighty Morphin. And I think I got a shipping notification from Hasbro Pulse saying that my Pudgy Pig like deluxe finally shipped.
I canceled that.
That's a long time.
That's going to be the first Lightning collection thing that I have not gotten because I'm all in on Power Rangers, but I got the regular one and I couldn't do it. They shot themselves in the foot on that by letting the first one come out, the regular version come out first before that deluxe thing. Cause it's just a box with some food. There's nothing else. It's like $30 more. And it's not even a real lunchbox.
That is true. But I'm a sucker for.
It was weird to cancel it. I'm surprised I was able to do it. So.
Yeah, we'll see what it's like when it gets here. I haven't, I've been really patient. I haven't gone the regular Pudgy Pig. I've had many chances to get him online, and I've been like,
he's
got that other one coming. He looks really great. Good figure. He looks great.
He's probably the best monster they've done so far.
Yeah, some of them have been a little. I'm looking over at the shelf, and Mr. Pumpkin Man is just laying there right now. So
I like him, but he's. They missed a lot of paint on him, which is everything in the line, really. But paint on him and paint on King Sphinx wasn't great. Eye Guy's missing a lot of paint, but he's still pretty good.
True. Pumpkin I can't get him to stay standing. Like he'll stand for like a couple of days, and then I'll look over and he's like dead. So I'm like, oh no.
I don't even know where mine is. I tried to find him for when I was doing reviews of the other monsters, and I could never find him. He's in the house somewhere in a box.
Yeah, that's how it goes. Sometimes I'm like, okay, I know I just saw it the other day, but where did I see it? Was it in this room? Was it in the other room? Was it in a closet? Like, I don't know. Sometimes I just lose track of things. It's like you're doing a review. I'm sure you know this feeling. It's like, okay, I could do a comparison with this other figure. That would be perfect. Where is that figure? I don't have no idea where it is.
It drives me nuts. Like I was like, I can only spend so much time trying to find that figure before I've spent too much time on it, and I've spent more time doing the actual review.
Right.
So there's diminishing returns on that for sure. I'm like, it's just a quick comparison. Let's find it and be done.
Yes. Yeah, totally. There's got to be a better system for organizing this stuff. And maybe it'd be like when you go to the dry cleaners and they have the conveyor belt that goes around, something like that. You can just, you put in a code and it's like, it brings it up to you.
It brings up your figure and you're all good to go.
That would be nice.
Sounds expensive.
It sounds very expensive and probably wouldn't look too great. It'd block everything that's in the room. So I probably wouldn't be able to do it anyway.
Right.
So I'm going to jump back over to the chat and see what is going on. Josh has been amazing. Loving my Beast of the Mesozoic Styracosaurus. Such a gem. $80. Yes, that is a fantastic piece. Action figure expert. Hello, how are y'all doing? We are doing great. How are you doing? Christmas in January. BBTS pile of loot box. Always. I will tell you not to be surprised with a ton of things hitting source after the Chinese New Year. Yeah, so that is coming up very soon here. I've been hearing a lot of doom and gloom from collectors about Chinese New Year. Especially like Hot Toys collectors are kind of freaking out about stuff that's been delayed for a long time.
It slows everything down. Always does. I mean, it's every year. It's not new.
It's not new.
Should be used to it
Jason.
by now.
Yeah. Good to see you, Jason. Thanks for stopping by. I hate that feeling when I know I've got a figure and can't find it. Worst is when I buy another and then I find the original. Jared, has this ever happened to you?
I don't think so. I have a pretty decent grasp on what I have, I think. Yeah. I mean, I've done it in the sense that like I've maybe overbought on like an army builder without remembering how many I have of those.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I've ever done that. I mean, I've definitely had issues where I've forgotten that I had multiple pre-orders that all process at the same time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think I've ever like lost a figure and then bought it only to find it again.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've done that. I don't think that's so, but I know that I have, originally I lived with my parents in Texas where I grew up. I moved away from there 15 years ago, but they still have certain things at their house, certain figures that I just never moved and stuff. And sometimes I'm like, okay, well, I really wish I had that figure, but it's at their house. I could buy one on Amazon for $5, or I can wait till the next time I go. And sometimes that gets me. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy another one.
It's only $5.
Yeah, it's only $5. Power of the Force 2, Amperu. Nobody's going to care. I'll just $5. Yeah, so that does real problems that we struggle with. So, Jared, have you been keeping up with the book of Boba Fett? I'm sure that you have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling so far?
Mixed in many ways. I mean, I really like the last episode. But I think that's the general consensus, of course. It's a very different episode from the rest of the show. But I'm overwhelmingly, I still like it though. I'm still enjoying it. It's had its ups and downs for me, but I like it.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. I mean, honestly, I'm not too hard to please when it comes to Star Wars.
Right.
Like it could be either what we have, which maybe is imperfect, or it could be nothing. And I'd rather take something that's not 100% perfect, because it's never going to be.
It's never going to be exactly what you want, though. So,
right. Yeah. Unless you're sitting in the director's chair, you're writing the thing. It's never going to be exactly what you have in your head or what you've had in your head for 30 years that nobody else can mind read. So,
right.
And that's okay. That's okay. It can be a little different. I mean, I'm trying to imagine a world where every movie, every sequel, every show was exactly the way you thought. I mean, how boring would that be?
I think it'd be a weird situation because you'd be, how many people would truly care about what you want, Right. It's hard to picture that, because knowing how to make that story become real is a whole different thing than just having some vague idea of what you actually think you want. So
true. Totally. Yeah, I've been enjoying it. Not all the episodes have been anywhere close to perfect. First episode, third episode were a little, not my cup of tea necessarily, but I love
Yeah.
the second episode. I love the fourth one.
Yeah, I really
And like
like
you
the
said,
second one.
the fifth one, it was just like, wow, like it was even better than your average Mandalorian show episode. And I mean, I guess it wasn't a Mandalorian episode for all intents and purposes.
Right. I mean, it's
Um,
essentially a different show within a show,
yeah,
but it was great. So
it was. Yeah, it just hit all the marks for me and left me so like happy. Just
yeah,
I
it
didn't
had
know what
it
to
had a little
expect.
bit of everything, except for
Yeah,
Boba, of course. So
that is true.
it hits
Poor
it hits
Boba.
the prequel nostalgia.
Hmm.
It gives us more Mandalorians. We get to see the Darksaber again. There's
Yes.
all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah,
But I
there's
mean,
sequel trilogy mentionings. There's just, yeah, it really ties everything together. Even theme parks is kind of mixed in there. Um, yeah, it was cool.
Mando saying wizard was great.
Yeah,
Just that kind of stuff alone. I mean, I know it's
so
stupid, but
satisfying.
it's satisfying on a number of levels, especially with the
Hmm.
way he says it too, because you like know he's like got this like stupid grin underneath that helmet saying that,
Exactly.
because
Yeah, that was
he seemed to
good.
sort of, for that one word, he seemed to kind of eat that one up a bit. So I
Hmm.
really enjoyed it.
I did too. Yeah, before he even takes the N1 up into space, Pelimoto's like, go ahead, take it up. And he's like, can I? Like, you just imagine like his excitement. He's like, can I really?
And there's like, that whole thing with the Naboo starfighter and everything. There's obviously like pod racer allusions to that, where they're going through the
Yeah,
canyons. Like they're definitely playing at the Phantom Menace really hard in this episode, which I really liked. So I was really
yeah,
expecting to see like a Tusken Raider shoot at him or something while he was out there, just
yeah.
for
Aura
some
Singh's
weird
in there
random
somewhere.
callback. Yeah.
And I think Aura Singh's dead. I think they mentioned that in Solo, but be funny. Um, yeah, no, I loved all those callbacks, and they're subtle enough to where they don't really like take you out of the show a whole lot, the episode too much. But also, if you're watching it like fresh, you're not a huge Star Wars fan. I'll use my husband as an example. He watches them because I watch them, but he doesn't know those references, and like, I mean, so they're good either way. If you know them, awesome. If you don't, they don't really like take anything away from it or anything. Pretty
Yeah, none
tastefully
of
done
that stuff
overall.
you really had to know anything about. It's
Yeah.
part of the show, or you really get it and it makes it a little bit more enjoyable, but it wasn't something you needed like a lot of knowledge for. It's definitely not anything you needed to know the prequels to understand. So
Right. Yeah. I really dug it. So let's talk a little bit about action figures from Book of Boba Fett that need to be in Hasbro Star Wars lines. I know we both collect both scales, Black Series, Vintage Collection, and let's think about Black Series for a bit. There are certain things that seem kind of obvious for them to eventually stick into the line from this show. And then there's certain things that, are kind of more like maybe. If you could name 5 characters that absolutely need to be in Black Series, just off the top of your head, what would you be thinking?
off the top of my head, I'm thinking of, well, okay, what I would want, not what I think they'll make.
Yeah.
Um, well, I'd like his Gamorrean guards
Hmm.
specifically. Um, I'd like the mayor. 8D8.
That'd be cool.
I think what else? What are we calling it? The Tuscan chieftain? Is that what? I don't. Does it have an official name?
I don't think it does, but yeah, that's what I've
That's
seen.
close
Tuscan
enough, right? And
Chieftain.
then I'd
Hmm.
like a pike.
Oh yeah, that'd be cool with a removable helmet.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty
There's a
rad.
lot of options as far as aliens go in this show, and they generally nail those.
Yeah.
Generally, I don't think I'm going to get any of those anytime soon, but or we'll get like a repainted Tuscan. But uh, that's a lot of stuff I'd like because I just want more. I want more aliens, really.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely more aliens. I know in like Force Awakens era, they kind of tried injecting a few of those into the line, but there really hasn't been a huge focus on like classic trilogy aliens too much.
Right.
So yeah, that'd be rad. I'd love to see them. Luckily the show has a lot of aliens in it. That would be really cool. So for me, I think I would Black Chrysanthemum, I think would, obvious tremendous character, would be awesome to see. I would love to see. I think EV-99 would be cool. You mentioned 88. I'm gonna go with EV-99 because that could double Return of the Jedi or Book of Boba Fett, and I just love the way he was walking in that episode, just like back and forth like that. It's pretty cool. Like you've never seen him walk, so that was neat. I think the Gamorrean Guard would be cool. As long as they made it look, I know, some people have issues with the Gamorrean Guard in this show not looking like Return of the Jedi. But if they made a figure, I think you would need to match it to Book of Boba Fett and not.
Oh yeah,
Return
it needs to be this version, slightly more muscular, not big, fat pig man, shirtless, maybe even. Make it very distinct.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think the Tuscan Warrior would be really cool. I don't know if she has an official name either, but
Yeah.
that'd be a neat one. And Madame Garza would be cool. I don't know if they'll ever do that, but that would be a cool figure, I think. I'd love to add that to the collection too. So those would be my picks. Everybody in the chat, what do you guys think? What would be the ones you'd want to see? So I see a couple of people are starting to make lists as well. Better Bob says, and this is her vintage collection. He says that they need to do BK, Tuscan Warrior, Pike Soldier, and the two main mods with speeders. That would be interesting. Jared, do you ever see them touching these speeder bike motorcycle things?
I don't see them ever making those. I'd be really surprised, unless they're already in development. But there's been so much hatred towards them. I don't like them, so I wouldn't buy them. I just don't think they'd make for anything I need on my shelf. Really, is mostly what it comes down to. Because they just look like Star Wars Vespas.
Very noticeable. So. Yeah, very shiny for sure. Paul makes a good point here. Hit that like button. I mean, come on, why not? It's right there. It's 2 inches away. Go ahead and hit it, please. The mouse catcher, Lindra. That'd be cute. That'd be a cute pack-in with cool.
It could be like a pack-in with somebody.
With posable ears and a little button that you can push, and that'd be neat. The vehicles will probably be mission fleet releases. Good possibility. I could kind of see them doing those Vespa speeders in Mission Fleet for some reason. I could kind of see that.
There's a bunch of stuff I'd like to see out of this show. It's Hasbro. Who knows when we'll even get it? Like I don't. It's the timeline's so messed up. I don't have a whole lot of faith in it anymore. Really, it's just everything takes way too long, or they don't have any idea of what they're supposed to be making until it's too late, and then the ship has already sailed. So they lose a lot of that. They lose a lot of the excitement behind it when stuff comes out years later. Do you really care about it that much anymore?
Right.
I mean, I'd still buy it, but it's not as exciting.
As
if it's like the show is on now. It's fun to go buy a Boba Fett figure when he's on TV.
Totally. Just thinking back to like the prequel films, or those are on shelf before the movie came out. And, you could get. I personally would get excited from buying the toy. Oh, I wonder what this character does in the movie. Sometimes it'd be nothing. Kinds of
stuff that I had no idea what it was. Yeah, here's this random thing. Let's see if he shows up. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was to a smaller degree. It's like having Constable Zubio before the movie came out. He didn't You know, he wasn't there, but he's a cool looking figure, sort of.
Yes.
What's he do?
Yeah. Yeah. Good figure is a good figure. And, I think there's a better chance of seeing it before, if they can get it out before the show or the movie comes out, because if it's a Constable Zuvio and the movie comes out, you're never going to get the figure of Constable Zuvio because he doesn't even show up. But if they make him before, there's at least a chance to get him. So I really hope that they kind of find some middle ground to, and they did say in one of the Q&As last year that they had a plan in place for timing releases with these new shows this year. So we'll see. I'll see that one. I'll see it.
They kind of did that with the last Black Series wave. It was sort of timed, but I don't know how many people actually found that in the store. Not very many.
Yeah, not
the one
me.
With Boba Fett and Fennec Shand. I mean, I don't even remember what else was in there at this point.
Yeah, it was a mix for sure. See what else is going on here. Hey, Milky Way Skywalker, good to see you. Thanks for joining us too. Action Figure Expert says, what sucks if Hasbro makes this modified Naboo Starfighter, will not be the same size as the original one from the Fathom Torrent line. I'm not sure I remember the Fathom Torrent line. Action Jason says, be more concerned if they make a HasLab out of it. It means it's going to get blown up. Oh, yeah. You got to be careful there.
I've seen a lot of people mention that thing as the next HasLab. I don't have any expectation that's going to happen. It's not big enough. No. It doesn't do enough. And it's not going to work in Black Series, so it's not going to work. It's not going to work in Vintage Collection either. It's certainly not a HasLab item. I mean, unless we just want to do $100 to $200 HasLabs now.
Right. Yeah, that one's tricky because that is the kind of thing they could easily package in like an X-Wing fighter size box.
Yeah, it's that kind of item. I mean, whether you're able to find that or not is a different story. But
right,
I've still never seen that most recent X-Wing in a store.
I saw it once back in October, and it's so weird what they did with that because they said there's no online pre-order for this. It's going to hit when it hits. Ultimately, it did go online when it started making its way into stock on Target.com, like little spurts here and there. But in stores, it only hit select stores. So like I have maybe like within a 20-mile radius, probably like 5 Targets. It only hit one Target like in the last few months.
Yeah, I know it didn't hit one time. Here. I know that for sure. It was weird.
Yeah, very weird.
No pre-orders to make it a better purchasing experience or whatever. I don't care for that. I don't care for that line of thinking personally, but here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Yeah, I don't even want to dwell on the one from the other day with the Boba Fett. That was just a mess.
That was a weird one.
It was.
It ended up being okay, but it was a weird one.
I still missed it, so not really okay for me. But
did you miss it?
Yeah, I did because it was 10 o'clock in the morning. I timed it so that at work I have like a 5-minute break. So I'm like, okay, 10 o'clock. I'm there on my phone, and refreshing. This item is sold out. This item is sold out. Check closer to release date, and it didn't actually, or it did go up. But I heard that there were 99. You could order 99 of them. People said, "Oh, the bots got them." And then 15 minutes later, I start getting messages that it was in stock, limit 2 per person. But I was back at work. By the time I was able to check, it was already gone. I'm like, no.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I probably only just barely got it. I don't remember what I was doing at the time, but I saw somebody mention that it was up.
Yeah.
And then I was able to get it, but it'll probably be one of those that's relatively easy to get when it comes out. Like I haven't had an issue with a Target exclusive in a really long time for that exact reason. Once it's out, it's usually not a problem anymore. But the pre-orders are always a mess.
Yeah, so. Pre-orders are a mess. That really needs to be fixed. I mean, we've been saying this for years, and I don't realistically know if we're going to be able to do anything to really improve it. But I still have issues finding stuff. like the retro collection proto figures. Like I've never seen those in stores.
I've seen one once or twice. Well, I mean, I saw the Stormtrooper once or twice. I've never saw the others.
Yeah. Yeah, never saw those. And I think Wave 1 Retro Collection, never saw that either. It was a Target exclusive the first wave, and I never saw that.
That was the Father's Day thing, wasn't it?
That was the Father's Day thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I get to go into the men's section to look for toys.
Right,
Have
yeah,
fun.
buy your toys in the clothing section, yeah. This is so weird.
Super weird.
For all your dads out there that buy full waves of Star Wars figures, I don't know how many of those are out there.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I have a lot of competition. I'm here in San Diego. You know, we have Comic-Con here, and like there's just so many people buying toys here, and it's just like so hard. So basically everything I order online, and that's that. You know, if I find something in stores, cool.
I try to avoid going out. I mean, I go hunting anyway, but I try to avoid relying on it. Right.
Yeah. You just can't anymore. It's not 15 years ago where you could just go to the store and get things.
I mean, some people have great success at it. I don't have the time for it. So
yeah,
I don't have time to run all over town to go to 15 different Targets and however many Walmarts. I don't have a Walmart that's really convenient anyway. So Walmarts are kind of a non-starter for me anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's the price of gas, almost $5 a gallon, and the time it takes to get from point A to point B, and then other stores, traffic, dealing with other collectors and scalpers and people, and stuff not being on the shelf when it says it's in the store. People can't find the employees can't find it. All that. Just I'd rather just pre-order it and wait for it to come, even if it arrives late, a month late, 2 months late, whatever. As long as I get the figure, I'm happy. So yeah, it's times are changing. I wonder, how long it's going to be until, it's all online. Will it ever get to a time where it's all online and there won't be any collector-oriented toys in stores anymore?
Yeah, you have to wonder exactly how many people are out there buying this stuff in the first place. Like, there's always that expectation that people are buying stuff for their kids, but are they really? Like, I don't know anybody that buys stuff that I collect for anything related to a child. Like, I've got plenty of friends that have kids, and none of them buy this stuff for their kids. So I don't know what they're out there getting.
Yeah,
maybe that's the reason why I never find anything. People are always buying stuff for their kids. I don't think that's it though.
Right. If their kids like toys, like I polled, I'm a third grade teacher, so I polled my students like a few months ago, like, how many of them like toys and how many prefer video games to toys. And like half of the class preferred video games. And it was mostly girls that preferred toys, but they weren't, in any of these kids, they weren't into like the vintage collection. They weren't into like NECA stuff. They were into just like Spin Master Batman, or they were into like the 5POA Marvel, like 6-inch figures, things like that, or Lego, or Fortnite figures, things like that. They weren't really into like traditionally like collector, old timey things from the 70s, 80s, 90s, nothing like that.
Yeah,
I know it sounds weird to say it like that.
She plays with toys, but I mean, I think I have a influence over that. So she's probably not the best subject. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely different. I mean, there's a lot more things to do. So you don't have just toys. You have video games or whatever. I mean, I had video games too, but I still played with tons of toys as a kid. But it's just not the same.
Not the same. Definitely. And my nieces and nephews, like, guys, go outside and play. It's a beautiful day out. Go outside and get scratched up a little bit, and go out and get some sun. But different times. They have the virtual headsets now and everything. So good times. 6-year-olds with smartphones. Pretty insane. So let's see what's going on here in the chat. So Jason says, as long as it comes securely packaged. Yeah, it's a huge one. Half the battle is securing your pre-order. The other half is making sure that the retailers don't cancel it and that they ship it to you in one piece. Because, Jared, like with your Queel that you got today, you said it was in a box, but it was still banged up. So
Oh, it was more than banged up. It was probably the worst example I've had in a long time. It was
Oh
like they
man,
crumpled it up and then threw it in.
jeez.
It was a good one.
Yeah, I've had some interesting things over the years, and it's just like, how do you like? You have to go out of your way to like damage the package to some of the extents that they show up
Yeah, it
in.
makes
It's
me wonder
like,
what happens to these to get to that state in the first place. Like, what did you do to that vintage collection case or however Amazon gets it? What happened to it? What happened to the other ones?
yeah,
How many figures actually survived this trauma?
right. They probably Ace Ventura'd it up before it went in the box.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it had to have been a mess because I mean, the card was absolutely thrashed. I'm surprised it was still on the bubble, honestly. So,
Um, the best. Good old Amazon. Hopefully, the toys we're currently having trouble finding are sitting in cargo container waiting to be unloaded and shipped out to stores. This is still a big issue. This has been going on a long time now, and even here off the coast, like San Diego, we have the cargo containers just like chilling out in the bay, like waiting to get like loaded. Like they came down from LA because they're so backed up. They came down here and they're just like sitting out there waiting, and it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't know how long it's going to be until everything is like unloaded and shipped out. Targets here in Wisconsin, Walmarts have nothing but Lando. Yeah, lots of Landos out there. Like I never see anything but like Lando. I'm seeing Lando. TVC Bantha and the Hut Twins. That would be awesome. I
a
don't
Bantha
think.
would be cool. I don't know if I need
Yeah,
Huts, but a Bantha would be cool.
we don't have a quality Bantha in the vintage in the 3 3/4 inch scale. The last one was I think 30th anniversary collection, and it was a multi-pack Toys R Us exclusive, and it had some Tuscans, but it's I have it on the shelf here, and it's like not that great. It's like it looks like it's like covered in like shaggy dog hair.
Yeah.
It's very poofy. It doesn't look right. I think we definitely need that. We've seen the Bantha so much between Mando and Book of Boba Fett that it makes sense, like, that they would try and do a Bantha, but they don't really do beasts anymore, so who knows? 50% of my pulled followers didn't get it. TVC Pazizla, Chrysanthemum, UN1. Yeah, all of those. Let's have them. Boba and Fennec are the from the show are least already available or pre-order, better than what it has for did with Mando. Yeah, so I think I'm thinking back to Mandalorian Black Series. What was that? I think it was Mandalorian and Cara Dune, right? Were like the first two.
Yeah, they were in that first wave. Right?
That Triple Force Friday wave, I think. Yeah, it was those
Cara Dune
two.
was in like the second wave, wasn't she? She was that weird. The second wave came out like the day after Wave 1 came out.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Or like people were finding that second wave like immediately after the first wave came out. Because Mando had a first edition box and Cara Dune doesn't, so they had to be in separate waves.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. It was
it was like
wave, the first edition wave. Yeah, and it had a couple of Rise of Skywalkers, and I think Cal Kestis was in there, and some
Second
other stuff.
Sister's in that.
Second Sister, yeah,
I think something like that. Seventh Sister, whichever one it is. One of them.
And those still don't exist in the vintage collection somehow or another. Still no Cal Kestis. We have all these gaming greats troopers for him to fight, but they don't have anybody to fight.
To fight, yeah. Why not?
Gotta love it. The Bantha from Power of the Force has straight hair, not all curly and shaggy like the 30th anniversary. Yeah, that one is even worse in my opinion. Like the Power of the Force one, it's the same like body, but the hair on it looks like it's just like straight. Looks like horse mane. It's weird.
Yeah,
it's ugly. Yeah, they're both ugly, but that one's uglier, I would say.
Ugly in a different way.
Yeah. I'm sure somebody would give it some love though. Yeah, good times. The 30th anniversary collection. I'm thinking back to that era, 2007, 2008. If these shows were coming out back then, we would have had all these figures already, probably.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We would be inundated with Boba Fett stuff. We'd have, full reissues of Bounty Hunters and everything.
Yep, we'd have everything. Max Rebo.
Yeah, we can use him. Need a black series of him. Need a full band, really.
That'd be so cool. But do you go special edition on some of those, or do you go puppet versions?
I mean, I'd probably go puppet versions. If I had the choice, I'd probably go puppet versions. I want to see like a weird Max Rebo.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to see Max Rebo in Black Series. That'd be awesome. Be awesome. Let's see. So Jason says, "Do you want faux hair, molded hair on the bantha?" That's tough. I mean, I guess if they nailed the soft hair, like the rooted hair, that'd be cool. But
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they could probably do it now.
mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's what
I
they're
would like.
doing.
I think if I would prefer to have the hair, I'd prefer to have some sort of soft goods hair, assuming that they can make it better than what it has been in the past. I mean, I don't see any reason to assume it can't be better now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it'd just be like a big brick.
That's true.
Brick of lumpy plastic.
Yeah, I think they could do it too. Given what they're doing in vintage collection these days, I mean, I don't see any reason that they couldn't do it. So we shall see. Pico V1, they need to start with the original trio from Max Reba and then go from there, both collections. So they did do them in 3 3/4 a couple of times, just Power of the Force versions, which I think were like retooled off the vintage figures. And then they re-released those in the 30th anniversary line at Walmart. Could they redo them with full articulation and better detail? Sure. Is that necessary? I don't know. I think we could use like a puppet-sized Noodles in vintage collection, though. Like they haven't really updated that version of her in the modern line. That would. But yeah, I'd love to see them in Black Series too, just because they don't exist. And, they're aliens and they're classic trilogy and they're weird. That's the stuff I love about Star Wars, the weird stuff.
Right. And the weird stuff is stuff that Hasbro usually does a pretty good job on too. So
yeah,
that's true. Why I want Aliens. They usually nailed them.
They do.
More often than not.
Yeah. We're still missing Hammerhead. We're still missing Yak Face. We're barely getting Bib Fortuna. I mean, there's plenty of possibilities, thinking between the Cantina, thinking between Jabba's Palace, and that's not even counting stuff from the prequels. There's plenty of aliens that they could tackle, and hopefully with time. They're doing Ponda Boba now, right? And Dr. Evazan, which Dr. Evazan's not really an alien, but he's kind of like an alien. He's like an alien.
He's close. He's weird looking.
Yeah, he is weird. He's one of the weird things about Star Wars. So, yeah, let's get it done. I'd love to see it. Love to see it. All right. Cool. Awesome. So, I think we are caught up here. Right on. So, Toy Bro, what else have you been up to lately?
Not a whole lot. I started a new position at work, so it's been work and toys, and that's about it the past 2 weeks. So just exhausting. Work, toys, rinse, repeat, basically.
Right on.
Just trying to get acclimated to things.
Yeah, I hear you. It's always like that with the new job. Finding that balance, especially when you're somebody that creates content and you're trying to balance the whole thing. You still have like family, you still have other things you got to do. It's just like balancing the whole thing. But yeah, for sure. Same here. Been focusing so much on work. I wish I could dedicate more time to the toys, and I do. I do find time to order toys, to buy toys. I certainly find time to do that and pre-order toys.
Always time to buy.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish I had more time to actually enjoy them and like play with them and mess around with them, take pictures of them, but not a lot of time to do that lately. But yeah, still talking about them, obviously. So I'm still getting a little bit of that toy release, if you want to call it that. But yeah, schedules. Action figure expert, what are your thoughts on this upcoming price increase? How much is too much for a 3 1/4 inch figure or a 6-inch figure? Jared, what do you think?
I mean, I think we're probably getting to a lot of people's breaking point, like real quick. I mean, I think a lot of people are already past it, honestly, and they're still just sort of hanging on. because it's hard to stop collecting just in general. I'm not really sure what my personal breaking point is. I mean, I think we're getting there really quick with vintage collection for me. If it gets to like $18, it's really tough to buy a lot of them anyway. Things like that. 26.99 or roughly is like the reported Black Series potential price or whatever it's going to be, something along those lines. 25.99 maybe. I can probably manage that, but I already stopped buying everything Black Series, just because they started making stuff I didn't want anymore, figures I didn't necessarily need. So I got out of that mindset to kind of alleviate some of it. But
Sure.
I mean, the price increase is gonna. I mean, if they absolutely have to do it, that's to be determined, I suppose. We don't really know what is or isn't going on, but since we just had a price increase, but I think it's going to be a breaking point for a lot of people when they start seeing $3 added onto every figure they buy. That's $25 a wave, basically. So it's gonna. I mean, I've already seen a lot of people already saying this is it. I'm out, et cetera, et cetera. But who's actually going to stick to it is the real question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, they just had a price increase like last year. You can still find them in some places for $19.99, like Black Series and TBC $12.99. But
right,
yeah, it's tough. I mean, prices are going up on this stuff, but wages aren't necessarily going up. So, you're obviously most people are going to want to cut back, buy less, or stop collecting, being a completist. And some might just quit with buying multiples. Like for vintage collection, I buy like one of each. I buy two of each, at least one to open, one to keep in package. Occasionally, I'll buy a third just to have like as insurance in case I lose an accessory or something. I don't really do that so much with Black Series. I don't buy anything to keep box of Black Series other than a few like special like San Diego Comic-Con Boba Fett, things like that. Some of the commemorative stuff, I have some of those. But I don't really do a whole lot to keep like extras unless it's like stormtroopers or 332nd troopers, in which case I will buy like extras of those because they're cool. And even sometimes helmeted figures, like because I always worry like is the paint gonna scratch under the helmet long term if I take it off. So occasionally I'll buy like a second helmeted figure. But other than that, like I have been cutting back on Black Series too, like carbonized, like no. Even with the first wave, I don't think I bought all the carbonized a couple years ago. Credit collection, I didn't buy any of these ones this time. And yeah, like certain things are starting to come out in Black Series I don't necessarily need. Like I did end up getting like Jackson and the Luke with the black shirt and that way because I got them like deeply discounted. If I hadn't, would I pay $30 for each of those? Probably not.
Yeah, I got those. I never even opened them. Like I never even got to them. So I kind of regretted getting those.
Yeah, they're okay. They're okay. I mean, they're not really
a
like
whole lot of reuse on those.
Mm-mm. Oh yeah. There's a lot of reuse on those repaints, and yeah, I guess Maul would be the
That's
only
kind of
one
how I
that's
view
like
the line at this point. Is it's like Marvel Legends reuse heavy at this point, which was always its big kind of selling point, is that there's not a lot of reuse in the Black Series, and now it's everything that can possibly be reused is being reused, which isn't necessarily a problem on its own. Like it's inherently not a bad thing, but it's like kind of egregious now where everything is being repainted. It's just the same figure in a different color now, which is the sign of a bad problem that they have. Credit collection, carbonized, all of that stuff. Just it's a lot of re-releases. Really, is the big problem. Just so much stuff that comes out because I at the end of the year, everybody does a top 10 list. Everybody does that stuff, and I was gonna do a top 10 list forever for like all the major lines because that's it. But I ended up just not wanting to, so I didn't do it. But when I tried to do Black Series, I couldn't do it. So many of the figures that came out were not new last year. Like they really weren't. There were tons and tons of reissues over and over and over again. This figure on a card back, that figure on a card back, this figure on a card back on a different way, this on a Power of the Force card back, this one's carbonized, that one's the credit collection. There were only like 3 waves all of last year. 3 regular waves. That was it. Unless you count the Moff Gideon wave, but people found that at the end of 2020. So like it was so weird to go back through and see all this stuff where there's a bunch of new figures, but it was reissue, archive reissue, repaint reissue, and then there were like those 4 literature figures that they did, whatever that little subline was supposed to be called.
Yeah, Legends or whatever.
Because I guess they didn't want to call it Expanded Universe, but it was weird. Like I didn't even have any Star Wars figures in my top 10 list at all last year. I couldn't. Like I was very dejected about Star Wars toys in 2021.
Yeah, Black Series like really like I don't know, because I mean I feel like in recent years they like the quality of the stuff was generally like improving, like photoreal sculpting, getting rid of the pins and like some of the joints, some of the figures. But yeah, it's just the level of investment on like new tools for like brand new characters and hasn't been there. Like you're saying, repaints, repacks, and yeah, it's too bad. I don't know where that issue lies. Is that like coming from the top where they're saying, cut back on what you're spending on this license, on this segment, because Vintage did some really good things last year. I mean, it wasn't a ton of figures, but most everything they did was pretty solid. And it's almost like, that's kind of where Black Series was a couple of years ago. And it's kind of weird to see like,
right. It's kind of like flipping back now. I've seen a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
say that like Vintage Collection is like now where it's at and not Black Series anymore. People that I didn't even know collected Vintage Series are saying that that's their preference at this point. Just because, I mean, a lot of the recent stuff has been really good. So
Mm-hmm.
comparatively anyway, I mean, if the rumors are to be believed, the Star Wars budget was slashed a year ago, and that's why this has happened. So I wouldn't doubt it at this point, because there's a lot of oddities with how the Black Series line in particular is being handled, but
yeah, it's strange. It's super strange, in light of how successful The Mandalorian has been the last couple of years, season 1, season 2, you would think that the budget would be ramped up, that they would double their investment in that segment, and to not quite see that, particularly in Black Series, is a little perplexing.
Yeah, it's weird. Like and I mean, a lot of it is still, it's got to be this quote unquote secrecy thing that prohibits them from doing whatever they can do. And it's just, when you get figures 6 months after the show's over, is it that exciting? And if the hardcore collector is really not the person that's buying the majority of this, do those people actually care? If
Right.
Mom and dad walking down the aisle aren't going to care about a Mandalorian 6 months after his show is over for their kid who wants something that's new. So
right, especially at $30.
That's exactly how it works.
Yeah, especially for the prices, with all these increases. Yeah, it's interesting. According to Yak Face, which anything Yak Face says usually comes to pass. These price increases are by several dollars in both scales. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to it. I'm really curious to see what happens because of it, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not either. But yeah, I definitely,
I buy a lot of Hasbro stuff, so it's.
Yeah, me too. We'll see. I'm a little nervous about it, but we have to cut back. We got to cut back. That's the way it is. So let's see here. I've had to limit myself to new content figures only, except for the Trooper 4-packs. Yeah, this has been pretty good value, but I wouldn't be shocked if the prices go up on those too, which is about $10 too much already. I think this refers to what Dan was saying TVC are not $20. The price are not $20 each. Even Super 7 Reaction are $18. That is true. I've never been like really understood seeing those reaction figures on the pegs at Target for like almost $20 for a 5 POA figure. Like that's just like ouch, ouch. Milky Way Skywalker. Still need core Bad Batch TVC. I don't know if we're gonna get those, honestly. They pumped them out in Black Series, but I mean it's tough. Like, and I think it's the same thing with Rebels. Like, people are like, we're the Rebels in Vintage Collection. It's like, well, if you do Kanan, you're gonna have to do the rest of them. Right. So do they want to commit to that? To tooling up brand new sculpts for all these figures that are several years removed from the entertainment? Probably not. I still don't get why Return of the Jedi Black Series Boba is a deluxe. Yeah, that is a weird one. That is a weird one. And I think they were asked that, right? And do they say it's the deco that is involved and it's part of the reason they got to price them up?
Deco, yeah. Which I don't. I'm not so sure about that, but the deluxe thing in general is
odd.
It's already overused. So before it was just big figures. Now it's regular figures with a couple things. Because I mean, it's one of those weird things. Like Black Series is not known for accessories. Nobody comes with anything. You get a gun, you get a lightsaber. That's all you're going to get. But if it has 3 accessories, it's going to be deluxe. Nobody gets extra hands, none of that stuff. I would really like to see that. If they want to start making deluxe figures, give me some hands.
Yeah.
I find that to be, it's from day one, it's been a huge miss for a 6-inch line to not offer extra hands for anything, especially because like hardly any character comes with them, which has always just been the weirdest thing to me.
Yeah, I think Qui-Gon had a hand, but I can't think of any others.
I mean, there's a few, Obi-Wan. There's the Obi-Wan, his little, but that was an exclusive though. The one that's got his little 2-finger pose that he does. Episode 1 Obi-Wan.
Yeah, I don't know. And that Boba Fett, I don't think it's cool, but I mean, you reviewed this one, didn't you, Jared? The Boba Fett, and compared it to some of the other 6-inch. What was your take on what is the best 6-inch 12 scale Boba Fett that you can get right now?
Well, I picked the one that like people seem to hate the most. I like the figure arts the best. I love that figure. People don't like it because of its deco, but because he's too clean. But I love that figure. It's like articulation on it is perfect. Comes with a ton of accessories. It was my favorite Boba Fett. I liked the deluxe one. Like it's fine for what it is, but it's kind of like this is the kind of stuff that just should be a regular figure. It doesn't necessarily need to be deluxe.
Right.
Maybe he came with too much stuff. I mean, I didn't need everything that he came with either. No. The flame effect was cool. I mean, I like the fact that he had the gun that was cut in half, but I'm never going to display him with that. The grappling hook was kind of a miss too. It was weird.
That was weird. Yeah. Yeah. The figure arts one is interesting. Definitely pretty solid figure. Figure arts usually are pretty durable, solid plastics and everything, crisp details. I still like the Mafex one though.
I don't have those, and because I tend to like stick to a line, so I have figure arts. I never got into Mafex stuff, so I just didn't get them. I told myself I didn't need to import Boba Fett's. They're reissuing him, so I'm getting one now.
Yeah, nice. Which one are you getting? The Empire?
Just to try. I'm going to get the Empire one. So
cool.
But I mean, I really like the figure arts one. I know it's a figure arts style Boba Fett. It looks like it belongs with the other figure arts stuff, and everything in figure arts is clean. So
yeah, that's true.
For better or worse, that's what it is. I just know people don't like it because of that fact.
Yeah, the figure arts is interesting. I mean, they used for going back 5-6 years, they were just pumping things out pretty regularly, and then they kind of stopped. So, and they have the Book of Boba Fett coming, right? Boba Fett, or is it the Mandalorian Boba Fett that they're doing?
It's a Mando Fett, I think.
Yeah.
Tail end. Yeah. I don't even remember what the last figure arts was. Armor, maybe.
probably the armor. I think they were doing Heavy Mando too.
Yeah, there was Heavy Mando, Grogu, armor.
Yeah, I think the last ones I got were Grogu and Mando and his Beskar armor. IG-11, I think, was one that was in there somewhere. But
Yeah, he was around
I
that time too. Yeah.
I haven't been. I've never bought all the figure arts. I have quite a few, and I probably need to get rid of some of them because they're just sitting in boxes. But
I'm missing one really that I'm missing a couple, but as far as like the actual main releases, I'm missing Padme, and I really regret it because she costs like $300. So I'll never have her.
I have her, and she's not on display. She's just in a box.
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if I truly need her. It's one of those things. It's like, well, I didn't get her because at the time I didn't feel like I needed her, and then I regretted it later. And then of course she was a web exclusive, so she was super expensive immediately afterwards. But the Black Series does the trick just fine. So
it does.
Yep.
Yeah, I think if you have the Black Series, I don't really think you need her. Her gun is awful. The battle droid gun always falls apart. The Anakins are pretty cool though. Attack of the Clones one particularly is really nice.
Yeah, and there's the exclusive one that has the extra lightsabers.
Yeah, I have that one too. Also sitting in a box, not on display anywhere. But yeah, let's see what else is going on here. So probably even more picky, no more full cases. I'll still buy the full cases because I'm, a sucker for those minty figures that come from Entertainment Earth or Dorkside Toys. That's an easy one for me. And then, if I need extras, I'll go to other, Amazon, Dorkside, or wherever, just buy singles of the extras. What do you think about Indiana Jones figures coming out that was announced by Hasbro? Ooh, that's a good question.
I'm interested. I'm not getting my hopes up because it's tied to a movie. So how heavy is it going to be tied into that movie before we get anything else? Because I'm quite certain I'd rather have classic indie stuff than 80-year-old Harrison Ford right now. So, and that's not a knock on him. It's just I would rather have original Indiana Jones. And Indy didn't do very well the last time it came to retail either. So
no.
I'm kind of worried it's going to suffer the same fate unless this movie's really good, which would be fantastic for a number of reasons. But we still got a long way to know. That's like middle of next year.
Yeah, it's a long time away.
Maybe they'll get some figures out ahead of time. Maybe that's possible for this one. It's not Star Wars. Maybe they can avoid that problem here.
True. Yeah, that'd be neat. I'm curious too. I mean, like you said, the 3 3/4 inch stuff from 2008 it wasn't good. Mostly, like the paint on them was terrible. They just sat. The later waves never hit because the initial waves didn't sell through. They did some cool stuff with some of those later waves. I think they focused more on like the Raiders or the Lost Ark but yeah, so it sounds like it's going to be a 6-inch line. I don't know if they're going to go back to 3 3/4 for this, but 6-inch. I hope that they cover the whole franchise, Raiders, Last Crusade, all that stuff. I think Temple of Doom would be really cool. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. Hopefully,
I'm curious to see where it goes. It's also one of those lines it's just people too. So it's just regular humans. So how fast is that going to fly off the shelves? I'm also really curious what size they're actually going to be. Is it going to be a Ghostbusters situation? Because if I can't mix this in with Star Wars somehow, just for pictures' sake, just to goof around with it, I'm going to be very disappointed. I don't mix lines a lot, but I like to play around with them that way. I don't mix them in display. But just like the Ghostbusters are way too small for any other Hasbro line, I think that these are probably going to suffer the same problem. I'm not sure why I think that. I just have a feeling that they are.
Why do you think that they made those plasma series, a little bit smaller than most?
I have no idea. I do not understand that whatsoever. Because it really turned me off from the figures. I mean, I stopped buying them. Not that there's a lot of them out there, but because I paid extra to get one early from a mystery seller at the time on Mercari. I got Winston early, And I was really excited when I got that box, and then I got him out, and I'm like, "This is great. This looks fantastic." And then I kind of held on to him for a second. I'm like, "This seems a little small." And then I pulled out a Marvel Legends Wolverine, and he was taller than him, and I was like, "Oh, we have a problem now." Because I mean, they're just like 5 1/4 inches tall. They're in a really weird size, and
Yeah.
they're not even 1/12 scale because every Ghostbuster is over 6 feet tall. So even, I mean, I didn't know Bill Murray was that tall, but he's at least 6 feet tall. So they're all just short. It's really weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the no plasma streams on all figures was a big problem for me too. So
right, unless you get the glow in the dark versions, which aren't even movie accurate. So yeah, it's a weird line. Yeah, it's a really weird line. I mean, there are things. This is one of those unique lines where it doesn't have to be just humans. I know they did this stuff with the Terror Dogs. The Build-A-Figure, the deluxe, the exclusive, right, from that came with Louis Tully. But it's such a weird line because they have the opportunity to do the weird stuff, the monsters, the ghosts, all that stuff, and they haven't really gotten into that. No.
Okay, that's what I thought. That's weird. Yeah.
No Slimer, no Stay
really
Puft.
hoping that it would like go into real Ghostbusters territory.
Yeah.
Because I mean, then the possibilities there are huge with all kinds of weird stuff. Give me a big 6-inch scale toilet monster. That'd be great. All that kind of, I would eat that stuff up. That would be great.
Me too. I would love that. That would be like a dream come true to see that stuff. I mean, those are the things I remember, like some of the best toys from when I was like, really little. And I love that stuff. It just seems like such a missed opportunity. Like, I don't know if they're going to expand the line and keep doing things with it, but gosh, there's so many things they could do with this line. It just kind of hurts that they're not taking advantage of that.
It's weird because, I mean, I know a lot of people were really excited about it. And then, I mean, of course, the movie didn't happen on time, and that obviously played a factor. And then they just sort of disappeared off shelves for a long time. And then that exclusive came back to Target, and they just doesn't really have a presence anymore. I mean, it kind of feels like it's gone.
Right.
But then, of course, it has a HasLab, so they're still pumping money into it. And people really wanted that because that was a huge win for them. I mean, it's kind of an underserved market in many ways, but.
Right. Yeah. The only thing I can think of, like, for the sizing is maybe they intended to at some point do like an Ecto 1. And if they scaled them down, maybe they could scale down the Ecto 1 a little bit. Yeah. I feel like that's like a HasLab type thing, though, and that hasn't happened yet. So.
Right. Because a real 1/12 scale car would be decently sized. It's not going to work at retail. I mean, we've seen 6-inch scale vehicles at retail. They don't work. So every Star Wars vehicle ever has gone on clearance.
Yeah, for sure. Well, to the 34 folks that are hanging out with us, welcome. If you're just joining in, I'm joined this evening by Jared from Toy Bro on YouTube, one of my favorite toy reviewing YouTube channels. Been watching for years now, many years now. And we're talking toys, we're talking Star Wars, we're talking Indiana Jones, we're talking Thundercats, we're talking Ghostbusters, Power Rangers, a little bit of everything. So welcome to the live stream. Go ahead and hit the like button. Throw us a comment. We're reading everything that comes our way. So yeah, I hope that Ghostbusters, they kind of find their footing a little bit more, because I just feel like the potential there is, the sky's the limit. And if they really wanted to get into the real Ghostbusters, man, that stuff would be really cool. I know there's a market for it. And, Mattel was able to tap into it for some time through Matty Collector.
Yeah,
and all the
Mattel did
stuff
a pretty solid job. I mean, they didn't do the greatest job, but they did better than Hasbro has done for a longer period of time. But this whole reinvigoration of Ghostbusters just it started badly. This line started badly with no movie tied to it. The real Ghostbuster reissues were, of course, a huge mess when it came to getting them for the longest time. It was just weird.
Yeah. Did you ever get the Matty Collector, like the real Phil Stay Puft Marshmallow Man that was like 24 inches tall?
No, I never got that.
I had it. I had it at one point. And it was awesome. The box was like a diorama. You opened it up. It looked amazing. I had it like on the top shelf, it looked great. But the problem with that, and I know many people had this issue, is that once you opened it and actually put it on the shelf and let air hit it, the foam or whatever it was made of, the Marshmallow Man turned like yellow, like pretty quickly for some
great.
reason. Yeah, it was weird. So I had it. I loved it. It was like one of my favorite things, but it turned yellow and I just couldn't. It just hurt to look at it because it was such a beautiful thing, but then it was yellow. So I just ended up selling it. I think I even did a video on it. I loved it. Like seriously, it was one of the coolest toys I ever bought, but I just couldn't bear to see it like discoloring. So I had to part with it. It made me so
Did it
sad.
only yellow if you took it out of the box?
That's what the consensus seemed to be, because people were like, yeah, I saved it in the box for 5 years. Then I opened it. And, mine, I got late. I got really late. And I opened it. It looked perfect. Within a few months, it was like discoloring pretty badly. So
That sucks.
Yeah.
How expensive was that thing?
I think it was like 120.
Yeah.
And then, I got mine like a couple years later. It's probably like closer to 200 or so. I don't know what it goes for now, but yeah, just a bummer with that one.
I bet it goes for quite a bit now. And Matty Collector anything is expensive now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Even the Diamond Select stuff, like the real Ghostbusters, those are really expensive now.
Yeah, I thankfully have those.
I have all of them.
They go for crazy money. They're super expensive.
They do. I miss
I can't believe it.
somehow.
Every time I see it, I'm like, well, I need to sell these because they mean that they're like $500 for all 4 of them at least. Even out of the box, they're stupid. But they're great figures though. I really don't normally care for diamond stuff, but they're pretty spot on to the show.
I have the real Ghostbusters except for Egon. That's the only one that I missed. I don't know how I missed him. I don't know. I waited too long. So that's something. So now I'm probably not going to keep them. They're still in the boxes and everything, but it's like, I'm not going to spend $200 just to get Egon in the collection. I'm going to wait for the Plasma series
to do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Plasma series does them. Awesome. That'll take care of that, but we'll see. Who knows? Hopefully the Proton Pack reinvigorates whatever budget they allocate to that line, because I'd love to see it expand. Super Source Rex says they should make a 6-inch deluxe Mutt Williams for $35. Yeah, everyone would flock to that. That would sell out day one. Ed says, I got one World of Halo 3 3/4-inch Master Chief just for the heck of it, having an iconic game character. I know nothing about the franchise, not played a single game. Now I have 2 Halo sets on the way. That's cool.
I've heard that line is actually really, really good. So
yeah, I've heard that too. I don't have any, but they look cool. I played the first Halo on Xbox like 20 years ago, but I haven't played anything like that since, any of the other ones since. So good times. This one I don't understand, but I'll highlight it because I think it's probably, it didn't translate over. Probably is what happened. It's my guess. So
your guess is as good as mine on that one. I don't know.
You could just say, good evening, guys. Good evening. Thank you for joining. Yeah. So what other lines have been making the waves lately in the news?
I mean, G.I. Joe.
Yeah, that's always
that's always the one. But it's like in a good place finally now. So no real. I don't think there's any issues with it anymore. It's pretty okay now. All the exclusivity nonsense. Well, people are finding the new exclusive stuff already, but
that's good
because there's retro carded figures now.
Nice. I haven't picked up. The only thing G.I. Joe classified that I have is that was an exclusive, like the Snake Eyes Deluxe that has like the armory.
The first one, the one in the big box.
Yeah, I have that. I never opened it or anything. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I never collected the line.
It's a great that on its own is just probably one of Hasbro's best exclusives ever. Like the quality on it is through the roof. Even the box alone, like it's just a extra thing. The line is really great. I was never a G.I. Joe collector until Classified, so Never had them as a kid. I watched the show, but I never had them. So
Right on. I think I ended up with 2 over the years, and I don't know where they came from. When I visited my parents like a couple years ago, they found one. It was just like a yellow like costume. Like I don't know, I don't even know. I don't know the names like of these guys. They're just like I never really cared for GI Joe. To me, it was like you could get Ghostbusters or fighting ghosts. You could get Ninja Turtles or these mutant turtles. You could get Star Wars. You get Batman. But then like I would always go to GI Joe. I'm like, well, they're just like people like in armor and like army fatigues and stuff. It's like that's not really exciting to me. So I didn't really
yeah, I
feel
always
like I
wanted
never.
them, but I was just my parents never bought them. It was you're already buying turtles. You can stick with turtles. So
Yeah.
which is fine. I prefer turtles anyway. So
Yeah, turtles are cool for sure. What do you think of the? I lost my train of thought. I had something I was going to ask you. Gosh, it's got to come back to me now. Oh my goodness. Oh yes. What do you think of the McFarlane Batman line that they've been doing for the last year, 2 years?
oh, the DC line, I hate it. I hate it. Like it's like the one line I unequivocally will just immediately say I just hate it. I tried. It's the one line in like the longest time that I tried, and I just flat out was immediately like, no, I can't do this. I don't. I think for the most part they're just pretty bad. Some are fine. Like some of the bigger figures look pretty good. I have one Azrael, if you know who that is.
Mm-hmm.
I have him. He's probably like the best figure that in the line, and it's mostly because I really like the character. So I'm not a huge DC guy to begin with, but I don't care for that line. I don't care for 90% of the stuff he makes.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And it's not even the size thing. I mean, I don't mind that they're bigger. That doesn't really bother me, but I think they're all over the place in terms of how they're constructed, how they're painted, likenesses, deco, what version of a character he's decided to go with, or whoever it is. I'm sure he's not pulling every string on this, but it's baffling to me how this line functions and the weird variant system that they use where you might get a gold figure or you might get an unpainted figure when you don't want anything like that. I hate it. I really just hate it. I can't stand it. They're constantly somehow pumping these figures out too, and it's like they're everywhere. I don't ever see people buying them. They're all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird one for sure. I mean, Mattel had that line or not 7-inch, but they were doing the 6-inch, for forever, right? Early 2000s, the DC classics, and then they started doing like the Movie Masters Dark Knight trilogy, and then they moved into like the multiverse thing for a while, and then they lost that license. They never evolved those figures. Like when they were last making them, they still look like figures from 10 years ago. And then McFarlane gets them, and I can't say that they're doing anything better, really. Like, I mean, they look outdated in terms of the sculpts maybe are okay, but like I've heard so many stories of the joints just cracking like as soon as you open them up, and
yeah, they're so weird. I mean, I think I've maybe bought like 7 or 8, and I've since sold off all but one. And there's just like there's no consistency across the figures. They're all so different. Figures that should have like just fists don't have fists. Like Superman doesn't come with fists. Like the very first Superman, he doesn't come with fists. He comes with one fist and a gripping hand, but he comes with nothing to hold. So why? Doesn't have any other accessories.
mm-hmm.
And then they're just weird. Like they're oddly put together. I hate toe hinges. They have toe hinges. It's such a useless joint. It really doesn't help. Most of them don't have thigh cuts on them and have no way to move their hips. It's just they're weird figures. I don't get it.
Yeah. The only one that I have is the Batman Beyond, because he had like a little flight stand, and that one's actually kind of cool. I didn't buy a single other figure. I wanted a Wonder Woman figure in that scale, but I couldn't bring myself to buy those either. So
There's still no classic Wonder Woman either that I'm aware of. So it's all
no.
slightly modernized version or the movie version. And then he's got the weird exclusive thing where you can get a figure. The regular figure is like masked, but then the exclusive version is unmasked. So if you want to get an unmasked head, you have to buy 2 different figures. It's just it's an odd system. I don't get it. I know a lot of people seem to enjoy it, and that's perfectly fine. But it is the first line in a very long time that it was unequivocally not for me, and I had to stop.
Right on. I know that the Batman movie stuff is starting to hit too for that line, and
I saw those this week at Target. They look awful.
Oh man,
they were just bad. They're all one of like the weird thing that's going on with them now is that they have like they're looking off to the side. So like I saw like the Batman and his eyes like followed me as I walked down the aisle. Like they're inexplicably looking off to the right or something. It's really weird.
That is so unusual. It's a bummer that there isn't like a Marvel Legends like caliber like line for DC.
Yeah, and I hate Hasbro had that license. I don't think Hasbro needs everything. Like Hasbro doesn't need to have every license, but I would love for them to have DC. Like I would just like for them to be able to do the same thing that they did for Legends, because I mean Marvel is at its peak right now. I mean, I know Toy Biz, the golden age of Toy Biz, Marvel Legends is near and dear to a lot of people's hearts, but it's not to me. This is the golden age of Marvel Legends for me. So I would love for them to have a crack at DC. I just don't think it's ever going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it will. Who knows?
Yeah, I've mostly been avoiding that stuff. Even the when Mattel had like the multiverse stuff, I was kind of like, I mostly just left it, and I started getting more into like the MathX like DC stuff because it was like way better than anything Mattel was doing. And yeah, I think I have a couple of figure arts too, and I'm still waiting for that Mezco Batman '89. I don't know if we're ever gonna get that, but
one day it'll be here, and I hope everybody loves it as much as they want to. I didn't order it, but I hope it's as good as everybody expects it to be.
I hope so too. I had to get the figure arts one to tide me over because I was like waiting and waiting and waiting. But Spin Master stuff looks good. I mean, I know it's more like kid geared, but just having those affordable figures that are fun, and
I've heard that line is really good for what it is. I mean, I don't have it, but it seems to sell pretty well. I constantly see like new stuff out, so
yeah,
they must be doing something right.
Yeah, for sure. I did get the Batman. It's weird to say it like that. The Batman, the Batmobile that comes with the Batman figure, but I haven't opened it or anything. But it looked pretty cool. Reminded me of the old Kenner stuff. So let's see what's going on here in the chat. So quite a few things come up here. Acid Rain World is cool, but very expensive. I only have a handful. I'm not sure what Acid Rain World is. Do you know what those are?
Yeah, they are very expensive figures. Kind of like, I haven't seen one in a really long time, but I've never bought any either. It's kind of outside of my wheelhouse.
Pre-ordered Conan Mezco fig and its accessories pack. Nice. That one did look cool. Question, Victoria. Can LED lights damage figures, especially if the lights are close to the figures? Not that I've ever heard. I know I always hear about like the sun, right? Like solar light, like sunlight. Yeah, solar light, sunlight can damage them. I never heard of LED lights damaging figures though, but who knows? We always discover things like decades later about stuff. So Super Source Rex, I only have a few as well. To me, the best are here in Void from NX line. Question, VC and Toyber, are you getting Action Force figures?
I'm not.
Nah.
G.I. Joe is satisfying what small itch I have for anything military. So I've never been like a big army figure kind of guy. So classified's where it's going to start and stop for me. Although they do look good, I just can't do yet another one.
Do you think SH Figure Arts is giving up the Star Wars license? Nope.
No,
Nope, they're still doing things. Just it's a slow drip now, but they are
Super
still.
slow now because we've only got those two. It's another Mando, right? It's another Mando, isn't it?
There's another
Coming and
Mando with
Boba
this
Fett.
Beskar spear and
Right,
the
and
the, the
then
satchel.
those other two Star Wars Visions mystery figure arts that went up at Target,
Mm,
which
yeah, I don't.
I've tried so hard to find information on those, and there is nothing out there. What they are,
So
what they come with. I don't think they ever even went up for sale in Japan. I can't find any evidence of them.
hmm,
I asked people at Bluefin too, and they don't even know. They didn't even know what they were to tell me about them, which is really
interesting.
weird since they do all the distribution for that in the States. So it was really, really odd.
That is unusual.
They were also very expensive too.
I also have a photon-related question for Dr. Victoria. Do you think LED cabinet lights would damage or adversely affect transparent figures? I don't think
Transparent
so.
figure? I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't think so. Nah, should be fine. Should be fine. I love transparent figures, though, glow-in-the-dark figures and all that stuff. It's cool. Colors, clear colors. I understand that UV light put out by LEDs is very low.
Yeah.
All light can damage plastic, but LED is least damaging. Incandescent is bad, like sunlight. Yeah, I try not to use a lot of light. I mean, I don't really have a lot of lighting. I mean, in my detox, I do have lighting in those, but other than like specific lighting above shelves, I don't really like light or anything like on the shelves. But yeah, I know there are collectors that totally black out their rooms and cover up, put foil on the windows and put black curtains over the windows. I've seen things like that. Like they're very careful about sunlight. But yeah, I
I
haven't
mean,
heard
it can
anything about
definitely damage
LEDs.
something, especially if it's close. So, and I don't blame them. I don't know about going full blackout, but
Uh, yeah, if it's maybe if the light's really close and it gets hot, right? The light gets hot, heats up the plastic, and I can see something like that being an issue. Supersaurus Rex, good point. Nothing lasts forever. That is true. I mean, I've had many toys break down over time. The plastics just start to get sticky and
yeah, those are the worst. I've got a bunch
yeah,
of
so
old turtles that are like that. Yeah,
yeah, Playmate
where like
stuff.
the plasticizer starts to leach out and they get gross, and you can clean them, but then it comes back.
It comes back, yeah. Even newer stuff. Like I had a vintage collection Republic gunship from like 2013. And I have other gunships too, same exact gunship, previous releases that are fine. But for whatever reason, that vintage collection one just started getting really sticky. And it's too bad because that was like the coolest one. It was like the most film accurate one. And I was able to clean it a couple of times with a magic eraser, just like clean it off, but it would come back over a few months. So yeah, nothing lasts forever, unfortunately. But you can prolong how long it lasts, right? You can take care of your stuff, keep it away from like the elements, and you can, people don't last forever either, right? So hopefully they last long enough for us to enjoy them at the very least. Can we start a debate about the wave versus particle aspect of visible light spectrum? I feel like this is where the cocktail hour is heading.
I need a
Yeah,
real drink for that.
Yeah, sometimes the cocktail hour does head off into very weird directions, but I don't know that I'm capable of having that kind of a discussion at this point. But it's an interesting thought. I like the thought. The thought's what counts. Ever seen the old Morbius figure? The face is rubber and they have started melting. Oh, man. Yeah, good old plastic. Maybe one day figures won't be made out of plastic. We'll invent some other sort of material that replaces plastic. I don't know. They'll never melt again. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is like heat, right? Like heat, like if it gets excessively hot, you have stuff in the attic, you have stuff out in a shed where, it's like 100 degrees in the summer. I think you're really just asking for stuff to start breaking down quicker. Well, cool. So, Jared, we've been going an hour and a half. Are there any other topics that you would like to touch on here in Cocktail Hour?
I think we covered a lot of the big ones. The price increase, Boba Fett.
Mm-hmm.
kind of the stuff I expected to talk about. I forgot about the price increase until it was brought up. That was just this week, and it feels like it was like a month ago. So
I know.
Like I completely forgot about the Target Boba Fett until you mentioned it too. I'm like that was weeks ago. No, it was like Tuesday. So
it was like a couple of days ago. That one still stings a little bit. Still stings a little bit. Well, cool. I guess that is a good place to wrap this then. So let's go ahead and end off, Jared, with anything you want to share about anything you have in the pipeline for your channel, any content you're currently working on that's coming out in the near term.
I mean, the big thing right now is, like I said earlier, these guys, Thundercats. So I've got early samples of the most recent wave from Super 7. So if you're into Thundercats, there will be reviews of all of those up over the next few days. So that's the big focus right now, is to kind of get some deep dives into those.
Awesome. Well, we'll
First
be
one's
looking
up now,
forward
and there'll
to
be
that.
one every other day for the next couple of days.
Nice. Well, looking forward to that. Like I said, I don't collect them, but I mean, even just looking at them right here, I mean, they look pretty sweet. Like those are cool.
Yeah, these are really great.
Cool.
It's like, this is like my Grail line. Like, beyond everything else, if I could just have this as a complete toy line, I could be pretty content and happy with it.
So. Nice. I'm trying to get to that place where I'm like, what can I really like dial back on? Because I've, been, I'm sure after you've done this for so long, it's like, sometimes it can be a little overwhelming. It's like, maybe I need to really focus on what I'm happiest or most excited about. So I don't know. I go through this every year, 2 years, and nothing really changes. So.
Oh yeah, it's difficult. It's easy to say. It's very difficult to actually do that stuff. So
yes, super difficult.
It's hard to part with stuff while you're actively collecting other things. So
for sure. So
a vicious cycle.
Very vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle.
So very cool. Well, Jared, it's been an absolute blast. Thanks so much for coming on to Cantina Cocktail Hour. Where else can of course, anytime. Where else can our viewers go to look you up on the interwebs?
Instagram, Twitter. Twitter is probably where I'm most active these days. And of course, YouTube.
Awesome. So once this live stream wraps, this episode will publish onto the VC channel. Links will be in the description. Please go subscribe to Toy Bro if you are not already. Follow him on social media as well. We'll have links in the description. Jared's been a blast. Thanks so much for coming on, and looking forward to doing it again sometime.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Have a good one.